learning to love the process and learning to love the experience of making something better, and not expecting it to all be perfect once you do it, and letting go of the desire for everything to be this next big, great thing. I put a lot of pressure on myself in that way, where I would always be thinking like, man, well, this next thing needs to be the best thing ever. And it's like, no, sometimes you're going to drop an episode that's not as good as the other ones. That's just how it goes. But you still got to post it. You got to post it and get the feedback. Now, obviously, if it's atrocious or if it makes somebody looks bad, okay, that's fine. You could scrap it then. But you got to learn from it. You got to post it and put it out into the world, and you got to see how it's received. Because you'd be surprised how often you will put out a piece of content and think it was lackluster and mediocre, and then other people tell you that it really resonated with them. So I think there's power in sharing your gift to the world, and your gift is not always going to be perfectly wrapped, but sometimes that gift is going to be perfect for what that moment was. And realizing that the moment comes when you're ready. I was listening to a lot of Aubrey Marcus podcasts lately. One of the huge benefits of my job is I can listen to podcasts and listen to music at the job, and it's awesome. I really love that. I'm going to get into audiobooks because I like to read, but I obviously can't read while I'm working, but I can listen to a book while I'm working. So I'm gonna start looking into Audible. I'd love for them to sponsor me, by the way. And so I think changing that view of the results-based thing and realizing that teachers arise when you are ready for them, that's something that Aubrey Marcus talks about a lot, was really powerful to me, where it finally started to resonate. I understood it logically for a while, but I really believe it now on a deeper level. There's a deep knowing that I have of that when I'm ready for the next thing, it will arise. And I just have to trust that if it hasn't arisen yet, it's probably because I'm not ready. And there's probably still more things that I have to do at the current level that I'm at. And so I feel like now, with my new situation, I've arrived to a point where I now can take it to the next level. I'm ready to really develop and grow this podcast. I'm really ready to develop and grow my docuseries that I've been wanting to shoot for a long time. And so those are some exciting things that I can't wait to really dive into. I can't wait to really show you guys what I'm capable of. And I don't have a lot of resources other than the equipment. I don't have a lot of people that can come help me shoot these things, but I know I can do it. I know I have enough know-how and I have enough equipment to start learning, and it's not going to be perfect. Okay. I'm not going to be shooting like fucking Coppola or, it's not going to be Scorsese, but it is going to be, what I'm capable of now, and being at peace with the fact that every time I do something new, I'm learning from it, and I will do something a little bit better the next time. And that is one of my main focuses of this podcast, is I want each episode, I want to fix one thing or make one thing a little bit better than the last thing. And sometimes I'm going to have some steps backwards. Sometimes I'm going to talk too much when my guest is on. Sometimes I'm going to, not shoot it right or fuck up the lighting. I mean, that's probably one of the hardest things for me to do. I know what proper lighting looks like, but it's hard to do it when you're the one person setting up all the lights for everything, and you're recording, and you're making sure the audio is good, and you got to then host and be in the conversation and immersed. There's a lot of things I have to juggle when I do these podcasts, and I enjoy them, and they're a lot of fun, and I can't wait until I have a producer that can make it a little bit easier for me. But I understand that at the current part of my process, this is what I have to do. And I do have to put a little more time into it. So I'm making a promise to you guys that every time I do one of these, I'm going to do my best to do something better each time. And I'm not always going to succeed, but I am going to try. And I think I'm just going to do it. I mean, I guess, yeah, now I think try is not even a good word, because it's like Yoda's, do or do not. There's no try. So I'm going to either do it or I'm not. But there's always going to be an attempt to do it. And whether it is good or isn't will be determined by myself and you guys. So I'm really excited. I'm excited to see what I can do with this, what I can take to the next level with the production, and to continue to evolve and grow, and really just being kinder to myself. I'm really hard on myself. Sometimes to a fault, where I'm just vicious in my own head. And I've been gaining an awareness of that, of realizing that there is this super critical person that is critical for no reason. It's like, but you develop these critical voices from your parents, honestly. And this is not to knock my parents. My parents were wonderful people and they raised me well, but everybody's a human being, right? And so everybody has their shortcomings. And so my parents, they have their shortcomings, and they've imparted those things onto me in some ways. And you have to undo that programming a little bit, because even if your parents are the best parents in the world, there's still some shit that they've programmed into you that's probably not good for your programming, because nobody's perfect. So what I've been doing, and is really focusing on trying to pay attention to that voice in my head a little bit more, and call it out when it's being overly critical, and realize that I can forgive myself. It's okay. You know what? Yeah, you didn't do that as well as you wanted to, or maybe that was a boneheaded move or whatever, but that's okay. You're learning, and just don't do it again. But even if you do it again, it's not the end of the world. Just learn from it. Sometimes we have to learn the same lesson like 100 times. And I can assure you that I feel like I have.